so
We're
dead.
live now.
We're offline. Welcome back to the show, maybe.
Maybe we'll
Are we back?
see.
We should be back.
All right, guys. Maybe we're back. I think we're back. Welcome back here to Tunnel here, 76. A bit of a disruption. Kevin, you're saying you're going to be casting EU just for VOD purposes. Glaurung said there's new stuff. We'll talk about that soon. Kev said I'm casting EU round of 8 this weekend. It's going to be sweet. What else you got for us, Kev?
That's about it. I think I'm going to be solo casting all weekend, so that's going to be nice and fun. And I'm going to go trekking over to go see the NALCS at Madison Square Garden afterwards.
Oh,
So
nice.
going to get some
Trainer.
super esports action in there and kind of check out what they're doing. But that's about it.
Lawrence
How about
Zoloff.
you two?
Yeah, we're flown here at Blizzard HQ right now. This is the room where they do Brawl with the Blues from, which is really cool. Really cool. I don't know why I'm having trouble speaking. Blizzard did something really cool this time. They flew both observers and all the casters out a little bit early to actually do hands-on training with this Blizzard, and they've never done that for any game before. We're the experiment run with that, and
They're trying new things.
yeah,
And
it's really cool.
they've got like a cool studio here. And, you know, throughout the other events we've worked on, we've had a talent coach that works with us.
Yeah.
So he's here early. He's the guy that's worked on like SNL, I believe. I think who's on his Anyways. He's done like a lot of TV stuff. So he's actually really cool to work with, and it's a privilege to be part of this whole deal.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's my first time at Blizzard HQ. Jake's been here before. This is my first time here, and it's been really fun. Like you said, I cast with you last weekend, Kev, but everything's kind of leading up right now to just this weekend.
Yeah, it should be cool because this is it. Last two teams, they have their chance. COG has already qualified, so Glaurung. I just want to ask you right now, let's just hop right into it. Is there like way less pressure now that you've qualified? Are you just playing for cash? Is it like what changes?
What motivates me? Is that kind of what you're asking?
Yeah, more or less.
I don't really think it's the money. It's being in a position where you're like a gatekeeper is just kind of exciting. You know, it's
I
like
like the way you phrase that.
being able to crush people's dreams after having gotten there yourself is a cool feeling.
Wow. You
I
are
like
vicious.
that. I like that a
You
lot.
are a
Like,
vicious person. I just want to crush people's dreams, that's all.
no, that is cool.
That's what this weekend is for us, Tempo, and Cloud9. That's what it should be anyway.
Yeah,
Alright.
like you have to keep in mind, like even if it's just a winners bracket, like you knock them down, you put them on their last life, and if you do get knocked down in the losers bracket, like let's just say any one of these three teams get knocked down early on, any team they eliminate from the losers bracket isn't going to qualify at that point if it happens early on. It's like 100% true.
Yeah, like their tournament life is on the line. It's crazy.
It's really cool that you're embracing it too. Like if they don't deserve, if they're not like if they're going to lose in the losers bracket, you guys don't deserve to be there. That's kind of the mindset. It's like if they can't beat you, well then that's tough cookies.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
That's a good way to think about it, because I was just thinking about it myself. It's just like, oh man, that's gotta really suck. Like if you're going on up into all that, and you're going through cognitive and tempo and all that, but then you're right. Like if you're not able to beat these people during those brackets, what makes you think you're going to be able to beat them during the regionals? You're right. That's a good point.
It's going to be really cool to see who ends up qualifying. Obviously, we know that Relic's qualified from Southeast Asia. Latin America will be decided next week. And crap, why am I dropping the ball here for New Zealand? ANZ.
What about it?
Who's the team?
Oh, it's Relics? No? I don't know.
Moving on.
I'm really excited to play against those regions, though.
Yeah.
That's going to be so cool at regionals.
So we were talking to someone from the Southeast Asia region, and they're pretty much just like, yeah, we're going to dumpster COG, we're going to dumpster Cloud9. They think everyone except Tempo's trash. How does that make you feel, Glaurung?
Well, it kind of makes me laugh a little bit. I guess just because if I were to look at the NA scene right now, they're scared of the two wrong teams, and they respect the wrong one as well. So that's where I stand on it. Zoya, I'm sorry.
Down with tempo? Is that what I'm hearing, Glaurung?
Well, I think they've been down for a while now.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
So I got this new button. Hold on. Shipped in all the way from my parents. It's my new shots fired button because it's Star Wars. Bam. It says
That's
fire
great.
when ready. It's my new shots fired button.
That's pretty esports.
So let's
No, but
continue
in
on.
all honesty, I think it's going to be really cool just to see how we measure up against other regions. Like, I honestly have not done hardly any research on Latin America, C, or
Yeah.
like the New Zealand scene, but like, it's going to be cool to see how we measure up. Like, yeah, it'll be awesome.
Cool.
All right.
Well, that's. We'll talk more about that in a little bit and some other esports events. Our first bullet is, of course, patch notes. So, now that the server is officially live, Karazim has been added to the game. The Infernal Shrines has not been added at this point in time. What are your guys' immediate thoughts about the live server and the changes to ranked play, the whole deal?
Killboss is stupid. What a
Kael'thas is stupid.
It was the biggest mistake I think they could have made going on into this patch. Like, Ignite before was really frustrating and it was, like, really strong, but the Living Bomb with Chain Bomb and then Fission Bomb at level 7, I think was by far one of the weirdest decisions for them to buff that, because that was already the original, like, the initial overpowered
Chain
build.
bomb? No.
Chain Bomb is exciting to watch,
No.
though.
yes.
Huh.
Absolutely.
Compared to Flame Check at Night, it's
Yeah.
way more fun as a viewer, like in every way.
And having more than one, like, over-the-top broken hero really makes drafts a lot more interesting, in my opinion, as well.
Yes, absolutely.
And now Kael'thas has a bit of a different element to him. You can actually spec a little bit more to the gravity lapse. You can at level 4, if you pick Netherwind, it's actually insane. And we're going to start to see teams experiment with maybe Kerrigan Kael'thas. Like, you get that Primal Grass combo, and then you Verdant Spheres your gravity lapse, and suddenly that's 3 targets that are just getting dumpstered. Like, they're in the trash for like 3 or 4 seconds. Just maybe we'll see teams experiment with Stitches plus Kael'thas. Who knows?
I don't know.
Yep.
The issue that I've been running into right now is that, like, it's like unstable poison on crack. Like, if you're sitting in a creep wave, you are dead at level 13, because they'll tap one, they'll do the Verdant Spheres, WW, and then all of a sudden all of the creeps around you exploded and everything else, and I just watched like half my team just get obliterated in half a second. It's like the old unstable poison, but it's easier to execute.
I'd say there's no disputing the fact that it's, like, overwhelmingly strong right now, but what I like about it is there is counterplay.
Yeah.
It requires teams to draft compositions to punish the KT, and
Yeah.
also in the game, it makes your positioning, like, way more imperative. Like, if, as a melee assassin, if I were to, like, infect my support with a Living Bomb, then that teamfight loss is on me, for example. So it's like, yeah, it's absurdly strong right now, but there is counterplay at the same time.
Like,
Which-
the playstyle makes you get more in melee range, like Mike said, it can be more aggressive. Plus, the nerf to cleanse, whenever the KT does get, like, blown
Right.
up, like, if you don't have that Divine Shield, like, the insta-save for him, cleanse doesn't work the same way, so it's easier to, punish the KT as well. It's very, there's definitely the downside to that as well.
So, Glaurung, you're known for the melee assassins. You probably have the scariest butcher in North America. And this cleanse change is an indirect buff to melee assassins in a lot of ways. You
If
can no
COG is
longer-
ever going to be successful on a patch, it'll be this patch, I'd say. Just because melee
Because
assassins
the
are
cleanse-
so strong.
The cleanse change just flat out?
That's one of the factors for sure, but just like the fact that in drafts, I'm not being forced on ranged characters and things that I don't feel proficient on. Like, it really favors our team, because in almost every draft I can get a comfort hero for me, and the comfort hero's actually in the meta as well. So I think the cleanse nerf was a huge part of it. Now you're going to be able to see Kerrigan come back a lot,
Yeah.
which I'm really excited about. Butcher is still, like, pretty situational, but cleanse definitely made him stronger with the way it was changed. So I'm excited for this patch.
You know, even back in the day, one of the first heroes you got known for was Stitches. Stitches is still not really a good hero, but the cleanse change makes the hook more viable. Is there hope for us to ever see the Glau Stitches again?
For me to play Stitches, I mean, if double tank still remains relevant in the meta, maybe. But Stitches is literally like one of the worst tanks right now, so probably not for a long time.
That makes me so sad.
Yeah. Well, the cool thing about this meta is like there's definitely gonna be the rise of the melee assassins, but it's not a meta where there's one playstyle like it usually always is. Triple assassin, like triple range, is still going to be very strong, as well as double tank. Like neither of those metas are going anywhere. It like allows the entrance of the melee assassin playstyle, so it's not going to be like last patch where it was. You knew exactly what each comp was going to draft from the get-go. It's going to be the exact same comps every single game, minus like a little variance here and there. But this time, like, triple ranged, very viable with the changes to some heroes. Double tank, still very good. We're not going to see like the triple tank probably anymore from Korea, but we still have the double tank, and we're going to have the melee assassin style. It's like it's going to be a very diverse. It allows teams to have their place. Like Mike said, like this is like a really good patch for cognitive because their strengths are being pushed up very well, but it's not nerfing anyone else as well though. So it's going to be really cool to see.
There's a ton of variance right now, and that's like really cool in any competitive scene. Like every team being able to have their specific playstyle is like pretty rare. Most of the time in games, there's like one playstyle everyone tries to copy, and then it changes over time. But being able to do what you like is really cool.
Yeah,
That's a good life lesson there. Being able to do what you like is really cool.
I mean, isn't that why we're all here, guys? Right? Because we're
Esprouts.
doing what we like. Esprouts for life.
Esprouts.
Kevin, lean into me.
Hold on. It's this way, right?
There we go. Aw, we're a family. Okay. Other things to the patch, the new placement matches. Everyone's been playing the placement matches, going through. There's a new ranking system. Starting with you, Kev, what are your thoughts on the what they've changed?
I only got a couple of placement matches in, but, you know, it puts a lot more pressure on those placement matches, which is... It's fun, I guess, in a lot of ways, but, like, everybody becomes, like, 90% more toxic. Not a whole 100%, and not above that. Only about 90% more toxic. In fact, 93.4% more toxic in just about every match. So I've already...
You know what's funny?
I've disabled all allied chat. I just gave up on it.
People are saying, like you said, like placement matches, like people are tryharding them, they feel like more important. They actually don't. Your results in the placement matters, it would be the same as like any normal MMR system. You can go 20-0 or 10-10 or 5-15. It doesn't matter. You're going to be put in relatively the same spot. I saw people going 20-0, getting rank 5. Someone went 16-4 on Twitter, got rank 48. You get placed where your MMR is. So, in a sense, they do matter because they're going to be fluctuating or you know, they're going to be changing your MMR. But they're not really placement matches. Like when StarCraft, you would like do your placement matches depending on how many wins and losses you got. You would get placed in Platinum, Diamond, you know, so on. But here, that's not the case. You're going to be placed where your MMR is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go 20-0, but your MMR is bad, you're going to be still like rank 40. Which is really interesting. Like the placement matches aren't really placement matches. Unless there's like some it's hidden algorithm that like kind of changes.
It's going to put you roughly what you are now.
Yeah.
But it's to kind of reset things. I think it's to try to really purge a lot of like the rank 1s and stuff out of rank 1 because I think they've probably narrowed that down significantly.
It was an alarming amount of people who were in rank 1.
Right, and I think that's probably the big thing they corrected.
Yeah, someone in the chat just said, I went 12-8, got rank 9. My friend went 15-5, better rating, went rank 33. And like the placement, it just puts you where your MMR is at the end of the placement matches, so, you know, win-loss and that doesn't really matter. It matters in the sense that you should increase your MMR. If you're winning more, your MMR is going to go higher. But you're going to go where you deserve.
Well, it's good to put that PSA out there because a lot of people don't seem to understand that, and they get really salty during games.
I mean, this is all speculative as it is, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's what we're seeing, observing, etc.
Right.
But
so I guess
like
maybe Blizzard will make a bit of a PSA, like a news post, like this is how it works or something. Who knows? But as it stands, that's basically what we've gathered.
Well, that's what they said already. They already said, like, if we're not resetting your HMMR, we're just resetting what your actual rank is, and then you have to do your placements again. They already said that. It's just people don't understand it, and not the people...
No, that's Holinka.
Oh, it's Holinka. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I only saw like half of this. Mike, I mean, from your perspective, you know, have you finished your 20 placement matches? Like, how do you feel about the ladder right now?
I've played 4 matches total. I've been scrimming. I've been scrimming a lot, but I think it's like it doesn't impact me too much. But I think they're cool, like for the casual gamer, it's always more exciting. It adds more to those specific 20 games will be more memorable than if you just had played 20 matches, you know? Like, being able to give a consumer bragging rights, if he's like, yeah, I went 18-2 in my placement matches, like, he's not going to say in the past 20 games I've won 18 games as often, you know? Like, it makes it feel more real, I guess, which is cool.
Yeah.
It's a cool way to look at it. All right, and now last week we talked a lot about...
Wait. Oh, I was gonna say, are we skipping from ranked because they still we could. I still want to rant more about the 1 to 4 people versus the
Well,
the
that's
5.
what I was going to say.
Oh,
We
okay.
talked a lot about that. I assume the feelings are about the same. I was going to say we don't need to talk about it a lot, but basically, in the Team League is 5 stacks. Anything other than a 5 stack is Hero League or Quick Match. Quick Match is just kind of up in whatever.
Yeah.
But I know you hate it. Glaurung, let's get your thoughts.
On the changes to Hero League, I think it's cool, but it should be restricted to 2 people. But it's a step in the right direction for sure. I mean, like,
Yeah, baby steps, right?
I know a lot of people don't like the solo queue experience as it is right now. I'm kind of an outlier because I think solo queue is hilarious. But overall,
I play it too, man. I love it.
overall, like, the fact that you can still queue up with 3 to 4 people is kind of crazy in my opinion. But at the same time, I'm glad they moved 5Q to Team League. It was kind of annoying if you just solo queue and queue into a full team. But
Yeah, it sucks. It does. It feels bad, man.
But I mean, like, through all of this, they've gone through so much trouble, and yet I still get random chens, you know, because somebody was AFK during draft pick, and then we get into the game, and the guy just doesn't say anything because he's Chen, and there's no way he can defend himself.
Hey, man, Chen.
I thought you
is-
had allied chat disabled. You just can't.
That
see
was actually
Yeah.
the game. That was actually the game that I disabled Allied Chat. I couldn't stand, like, they were like flooding, just like, oh my god, Chen, so I just disabled it.
Funny story, as I'm showing off this Town Hall shirt. I get down to the lobby this morning,
I think it was.
and Jake's wearing his too. Jake's like, go back to your room and change now. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm too lazy. And then we get to Blizzard HQ, and then Neil, who was here to like greet us today, he was like with the group today.
Yeah.
He happened to be wearing a Town Hall shirt, so like we just
We're
looked
like walking around the Blizzard campus, 3 nerds in town hall shirts. Felt awful.
felt awful all day.
Why not? Why not, like, everybody have a nice little uniform?
It's surprising how many people know what the show is, though, here. It's kind of cool. But shout outs to Blizzard for giving us a place to do the show this weekend. Or this week, rather, because we're actually in the room where they normally do Brawl with the Blues. So it's a pretty cool setup they have here.
It's cool.
All right.
Same.
Back to patch notes. So I think most people after the PTR expected to see Infernal Shrines in the patch. Well, it's not there. We got Kerosene. We got all the other patch notes. I don't think anything really changed from what we saw last week in terms of balance.
Yeah, Spirian posted in the patch notes thread that there was only like typo fixes or like unintentional fixes that were changed. I think he said something. I don't want to quote him exactly, something about Naziba or something. But as far as like just general balance, nothing was changed. Just what was like written wrong. Was, I guess
I'm kind
the
of disappointed because Infernal Shrines is like by far the most fun map. Like the map mechanic is the most hilarious thing. He like jumps on you, starts throwing elbows. It's like so cool to watch.
I think everyone here played a fair amount of PTR.
Yeah.
And I think everyone here would agree that the map is incredibly snowbally.
Yeah.
From PTR.
I don't know.
It's-
I've scrimmed on it a lot, and in solo queue and stuff, I think it is extremely snowbally. But
Well, there was a graph posted on Reddit where that showed like the average game length of all the battlegrounds, and the game length is going up as the game gets older because players are getting better. But it also showed just the disparity that exists between all the battlegrounds, and you look at Garden, it's at the top, and then just behind that is all the other battlegrounds are about the same. Then Infernal Shrines is like a half
10 minutes.
of the game length. Yeah, it's like actually just half. So if I had to guess, I'd say they delayed it, until they can maybe tune it. But who knows?
So
Like you said, though, it's super fun in your opinion.
So you're telling me, Mr. Blizzard designer, that teams shouldn't get level 7 over their level 4 opponents in the first 3 minutes of the game? Yeah, I think we messed up somewhere around there. Just an idea.
Who knows? It's very fun though. I hope it doesn't take long.
I agree. Like, it was a really like cool idea. I think I am still a little bit wary about the whole entire let's kill things to get a giant NPC that does our work for us kind of thing. Like, Garden of Terror does the same thing. You kill a whole bunch of things, you collect things, turns into a giant dude. Haunted Mines, kill a whole bunch of things, turns into a giant dude. Like, I feel like there could have been a better mechanic for this. Like, maybe you have to channel, and, you know, like, you can take damage, but you'll still be channeling it, and you have to, like, channel for a certain couple of seconds or something like that to get it. And, like, you can, like, stop channeling and still keep that, and maybe it, like, shrinks. I don't know. Like, a billion different options exist, except for kill a billion little dudes and summon a big dude.
There's a few ways to approach it. So if we think about something like Garden, I mean, retaining the kills, that's an easy one. Another thing they can do is they can just lessen the structural damage he does, because he pushes like more efficiently than a Dragon Knight, and he doesn't take a 5th hero slot to do that. He does crazy good damage. There's a lot of ways they can approach it.
And he like kills people like left and right.
I want them to keep that. I want him.
That's
to
cool. Yeah, I guess.
Body other heroes.
One or the other. One or the other.
Just take the structural damage away. Like, just make him do like half damage to structures or something.
I think one thing they could do is make the Punisher slightly weaker, like in general, but make his mechanics stronger. Like, say he's Molten, and make his little balls of fire do more damage, or the Arcane, make it actually feel like you're playing Diablo, and you actually have to avoid the Arcane.
Like that a lot.
Does Arcane do all the effects damage structures?
Yes.
They shouldn't.
Well, I don't know about Arcane, but Molten definitely does.
They shouldn't.
But
in my opinion, it should strictly be anti-hero.
Arcane
like right
at
now,
the end of the game does a lot of damage. Like those little laser things. I mean, I guess in Diablo 3 they like killed you instantly or something. But they do a lot of damage at the end of the game.
Yeah, they did. Oh my
so,
god.
The way I see it right now, like whenever I would play that game and the RNG would happen, like I would feel most happy when I would get Arcane. Like that one overall is probably about where it should be. It's strong. Frozen, I think, is damn near useless. It's basically just a Punisher. Like, it roots you, does like no damage. It's not very punishing, I guess. It's a pretty short route. So I would like to see them like alter that, make its pushing power lower, make it do like slightly less damage when he throws elbows at you and jumps on you. But like, make his abilities do more damage. I think that'd be cool.
I mean, I like the Punishers themselves. I just don't like the mechanic of getting them.
Yeah, there's so many ways they could approach it to change it. Who knows what they'll end up doing, but
we didn't scrim on it much, so I don't want to say. That's why I'm being really quiet during this conversation. Is that like I've only played the quick match games, right? We didn't scrim on it too often, so I don't really want to say anything too much. Like from those quick match games, it was very snowballing.
Yeah.
So that's something to change. But on a competitive standpoint, like Mike, he said he scrimmed on it a lot, so I'm gonna trust his input.
Yeah, I scrimmed on it a decent amount, and honestly, it was like back and forth a lot, but that also just depends on what teams you're playing against, and there's a lot of factors, but overall, I'd say it's more snowbally than other maps, but it's not snowbally to the point where the person who gets the first immortal wins.
Yeah, we also have to just talk about the one of the big variables is PTR, and MMR isn't really fleshed out, so there's going to be a lot of stomps, a lot of big mismatches that happen in the PTR. It's not at all the same as the live server. Okay, Infernal Shrines, hopefully it doesn't take too long to get it. Now that Kirazim is in the game, you know, teams are starting to figure out how to use him. How does everyone feel about the hero?
I have been asking a lot of people how they feel about Kirazim, and it is the most polarizing hero I think I've seen. Like, I've been seeing a lot of people be like, he's going to be one of the best healers ever. And then other people are like, he's garbage, and he's not going to do anything. And I want to see him in a tournament. It's such a shame he's not going to be in any of the round of 8s this weekend.
He's a fun melee assassin, but I don't think he's viable as a support.
Yeah. Dreadnought thinks he's god tier. Intensely broken. The rest of the team thinks he's not that good.
I won't share like team names, but I know a couple teams in EU are like probably one of the best supports, and then everybody else is like worst.
Yeah, my opinions are he's not a solo. I think if you pair him with Tyrande, it's enough. You pair him with Tassadar, it's enough. I think he's on the cusp. I don't think he's quite the suitor that they are. But if you do the full healing build, it's really good late game. It's just pretty weak until the late game. And
My
not
biggest-
having. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. My biggest issue with Monk is he basically has 2 dead abilities as a support. His Q gives him mobility, sure, and allows him to reposition, and his E is like completely useless as a support character.
Right.
Like
Yeah, it is.
he just has a few too much. Like he has a potential with his ult. His ult is really good. His W is a cool concept. I like the talent that allows it to like cleanse you of things, but he has 2 dead abilities, and that makes his inherent value just like a lot lower, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. That's a good way to put it.
I know I've said this on air already, but I really would love to see Monk plus Rhaegar with Bloodlust. In a Bloodlust composition, you have...
Don't smile, Mike. Don't encourage his dumbness.
Bloodlust got buffed! I want it so bad. Anyways.
So
Silence after that.
yeah, yeah. Other hero changes. I mean, do we want to go through like the talents by talent?
We already did that last week.
Yeah, we're not going to do the whole.
Yeah.
Like, unless there's something very specific that we think has changed. Like, Mike, what are you
mean-
Mike, go ahead. Like, we kind of already talked about it when we were talking about like the changes earlier, but
Kerrigan.
like the Kerrigan cleanse changes, like like, Mike, tell us about the Kerrigan changes in general before like we talk about cleanse.
Okay. After having played on PTR for about a week and the patch has been live since Tuesday, I've played probably close to like 30 games on Kerrigan, so I have a pretty good feel of like how she is. Her build versatility is actually like really good right now. Depending on your matchups, you can use the new level 7 talent, which I think is really cool. When your shield is up, you get 100% bonus to both your health and mana regen. Like, certain situations, that's really cool, because you can basically have your shield at 100% uptime, and you never have to go back to base on Kerrigan, like, anymore. You can still go Zerglings, and with the level 1 versatility, she gets more survivability now that you're able to take block. If you want to still go Zerglings at 7, and you're playing against a composition where they have tons of wave clear and you're going to need to use your abilities to clear waves, you can go the level 1, reduce mana cost on E, or it returns mana or whatever. Like, there's just a lot of cool versatility and on builds with Kerrigan right now. And in general, she's still the same hero she always has been. If you don't hit your abilities, she's going to be one of the worst. But if you do hit your abilities, in my opinion, she's one of the best right now.
That's exciting. It's good to hear, because I just want to talk a little bit about the last patch, just quickly, in terms of competitive. It's been stale. It's been very, like, every team is running the same kind of cookie cutter compositions. It doesn't feel like there's any diversity in the playstyles of the teams at the top level, especially in NA. And it's, it wasn't really that fun. I feel like every tournament was the same tournament to me. Yeah. And there weren't like memorable games to me. So the change to cleanse, the increased viability of heroes like Kerrigan and Butcher will allow players like you specifically, who thrive on those melee assassins, to have a more defined style about the team, and that's what the game needs.
So far, after been scrimming on PTR and patch has been live, like I said, right now I'm not gonna go into what the compositions are for obvious reasons, but I'd say there are about 5 equally strong, viable compositions that I'm comfortable drafting right now, whereas last patch there were 2 compositions that I would be willing to draft.
This is a week in, and there's plenty of time for teams to get creative and figure out new things. And
well, I mean, it's the weekend, so it's like when everybody's like trying out all these weird things, and they're somewhat working just because of like the patch. But I feel like it's just saying it's the weekend. It kind of does go back and forth in that aspect as well, because there could also be the situation where it's a weekend and then everybody figures out what those 3 different compositions are weak to, and then they can counter that draft, and then all of a sudden we're back down to 2 again.
I think the change to cleanse is enough to make the hard counters so. Like, cleanse was basically a heroic. Like, let's face it, it just shut down big plays, left and right. It shut down styles of play.
Well, like, there's a lot of stylistic changes. Like Jake, brought up earlier, we laughed at him, but the Bloodlust change. Like, that a few more changes potentially, and that opens up the door to bloodlust compositions.
And then
And suddenly,
this
so
disengage.
much changes.
Right,
Yeah.
this forces disengage to be a thing again. Emerald, Wind, Maw, Zeratul, and Zagar are already very common bands.
Yeah.
So a last pick Rhaegar, if that's an option, maybe it does make sense.
Sergeant Hammer changes. If someone finds out a really good way to run and protect the hammer
gosh,
comp
she is
again,
God tier now.
then
Yeah.
that also makes the hammer compositions work, as well as the hard engage you kill the hammer.
So suddenly, Hammer's in the meta. Cleanse is gone. Oh well, how do we deal with Hammer? Let's pick Stitches. Like, who knows? There's a lot of things could happen from this one change to Cleanse, and it's very promising.
The Zebo's now not only just like a huge pushing potential and somewhat decent damage during team fights, now he's got Ravenous Spirit back and it does 1 billion damage. They did a really good
That's true.
set of changes here because
Yeah.
it brings back a lot of that versatility that I think we've been lacking.
Yeah.
A lot of buffs just came out this patch instead of like a ton of nerfs, and I think that was a good idea.
I love that idea. I think just you have heroes that are playmakers that are already really good. Make more heroes like that. Like, if they nerfed Kel'Thas into the ground, I would have been so sad. But I think he's a way more interesting hero. He's still stupid good.
He went from being the best damage dealer for one reason to the best damage dealer for a completely different reason.
Yeah.
I love it.
But I'm good with that. I'm
Yeah,
good with that.
Ubers are fine as long as you try and balance around the Ubers instead of just constantly burning them. That's cool. Like with all these changes, like you brought up Nazebo and stuff like that. All like we talked about how melee assassins are on the rise, so you can have combat again. The triple range, that fell off for a bit because there wasn't the best range, but now you have Nazebo back. Vala's seeing a lot more play. Sylvanas is seeing play again. Like there's such a diverse meta right now, and it's so
good.
Another
It's gonna be good.
Another big change, regrowth level 4 talent now from 30 to 50% burst at level initially.
Mouth has burst heal.
Mouth has burst heal.
Burst heal. Like,
hello?
That's a big deal. That is a huge deal. And this just kind of makes me sad, though. Suddenly we have, 3 or maybe 4, depending on how... We don't know enough about Monk yet. Good supports. But Brightwing is still on the trash. Lily is very situational. Medic looks so good. But supports are still going to be
You've
very...
seen one thing about Medic. What do you mean she looks good? You've seen her ult.
Dude, yeah, and that's gonna be so
It
good.
looks so good.
Imagine
It's a 5-minute cooldown.
Imagine dropping behind
You're standing on my headset.
Imagine dropping
Stop.
behind them and then bloodlusting them towards your wall.
What?
That one was trolling.
No.
But I don't know. I'm pumped.
No, I don't know if there's anything else from the patch.
Nothing else is standing out to me as crucial to talk about.
Gathering power change made me sad.
Oh, GP's dead.
Yeah,
GP's
but
dead.
that's Mighty
doesn't-
Gust.
I'm
got its
kind of
cooldown
glad
reduced.
about it, though. I'm kind of glad that Gathering Power is dead. Like, you don't want to have these types of...
It's just boring.
Yeah, exactly. It's boring.
It's just boring.
It's a stat booster that became way too strong.
Brightwing's better, but she's still trash, chat. She's still trash. She's better. Slightly viable.
Yeah, Rainer's better too. He's still trash. Well, no, he's not trash, but yeah,
He's
He's trash.
slightly moved up half a tier.
Just like Lily, Rainer's pretty situational, but overall they're not very strong.
which is fine. Like, not every hero has to be playable at a time. Situational picks are cool and all.
Oh, what about Asmodan? That's interesting. Did you guys already talk about the Asmodan changes?
He doesn't feel a whole lot different to me. I think you still just build him the old way. I mean, I've only played him twice, but I felt like his new style was not as impactful in terms of team fight.
Well, in a scrim, I misclicked his new ward over the increased.
Health one?
Yeah, and it was not very impactful. But
Dude, the new
Misclick.
the new activatable that you can channel while using All Shall Burn, the new activatable does like 0 damage. It's like
Really?
worse than Venom. Like you can reduce the cooldown on it by killing minions. I think you remove 6 seconds on the cooldown, but it's 100 per minion kill. But it's a 100-second cooldown, so you can use it frequently if you're farming. But it just felt so weak. I think you gotta stay glow build, but who knows?
Yeah, I think Glow Builds.
I like glow build anyway. Like, I never had a problem with glow build.
No, they didn't. I'm glad they didn't nerf it. That would have been really sad. So
Glow Build's boring.
they're just trying to give him more options. Glow build is very boring to watch and cast.
Only, like, if the enemy don't Like, if they just sit there, and then I'm just fine with it. Then I'm fine with that Azmodan getting 500 stacks at 10 minutes. Glaurung, you've been unseated by Arthalon. You know, I like seeing
What?
that. That was from, what, 2 opens ago, whatever, when
Yeah, it was
when
like 2 months ago,
Glaurung
man.
went for it first. Glaurung went for it first, and then Arth was the one who beat him, like 2 games later. Anyway, but I like that, because it's just, you know, ends the game. If you don't have the ability to counter an Azmodan play,
You're gonna lose.
you're going to lose.
It's still such a boring style. That's just my opinion, but Sanctification, way different. Completely different heroic.
Rip triple tank.
You think so?
Yeah. It's like if you watched like at least the good teams that ran triple tank, it was always with Tyrael. It was always with Sanctification. Most of the time, like 90% of the time was Sanct. I don't know, that like radius is so small. It's
But he can move. He gets the application of it.
Yeah, everybody's
he can use his
vulnerable.
abilities. So now he's affected by it, and he can use all his abilities while he does it. So he creates a safety zone.
yeah. If it was still the old radius, I think it'd be fine. I don't know.
Okay.
If it was still the old radius and everybody inside it was invulnerable, are you kidding me?
It would have to
Yeah,
last.
That'd be like the most broken
Yeah.
thing. 4 seconds or what is it? 3 seconds? 3 seconds?
Isn't it 2.5? I don't know.
3 seconds? I forget.
It's
could
probably
also be
3.
seconds or something if that was the case. It would have to be used to like specifically like
It's so
dodge a
cold in this
globe
room.
or specifically dodge a Hinterland's blast or something.
What I liked about
Even then,
Sank,
it's huge.
like the old school Sank, like back we would experiment it when I was on Tempo, and I would always call it an AoE cleanse. That's what I liked about it.
Is it placed directly underneath him still? I haven't actually used it.
Yeah.
What if you could cast it in a location so it became more of a divine shield?
That'll be dumb too.
Okay. You can still allow Druid's Might to them and then cast it, but that's
Yeah.
a lot harder.
Well, I mean, let's be honest, all right? They have to do some things about sanctification because they just gave Tyrael like the second best skin in the game.
yeah. His demonic Tyrael skin is real good, but it's
Oh,
it's
yeah.
no Earthbreaker Thrall, so
Let's talk about Judgment though. Those changes are pretty insane.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like Sanctification got completely reworked, but like one of the biggest things in the patch that has been completely overlooked was Tyrael's Judgment. Man, that thing is like so much weaker now, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
So easy to interrupt.
It's
It's
easy
a
to
lot
interrupt, and also it's like if you have an Uther on your team, for example, it's like a butcher's charge. You know how you get that thing over your head?
You know
There's the
they're
little
going-
animation on the Judgment for 0.75 seconds before it's cast, mind you. So then the actual animation of Tyrael going in the air, it's like 1.25 seconds, before Tyrael hits you. It's like pretty crazy. Just allows you to
It's-
react to it so easily.
It's true. And before, like, it was exciting watching someone cleanse Judgment. Now that's not a thing anymore, and it just definitely feels like it's just super easy to respond to. It's like being hunted. You just laugh.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, here comes Illidan! Let's kill him, guys! Like,
For example, there used to be finesse when you would like ice block a Tyrael ult. Now there's like no finesse whatsoever. You can just ice block, boom, completely negate that ultimate.
I'm really great
Which-
about that.
Whenever they remove something that allows players to show off their skill, it always makes me sad.
that's fair. It's a good thing to point out.
I
Anything else in the
don't think
patch?
there's anything else in the patch. No.
Well, hopefully we get Infernal Shrines before too long. Just the final look through here. Is Evo, we talked about him, definitely on the rise. Thrall still booty.
Yeah, nothing.
Falstad is just the Mighty Guts change, I think.
Any
You're gonna
real...
see less play because of gathering power changes. Falstad.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's a good point. No.
The imposing presence changes, and I mean,
So-
it feels.
Imposing is no longer applied by Splash, so this is actually a big indirect buff to Hammer as a whole. But we talked about all this last week.
Yeah, no, I just
So-
meant like just because like we had a little bit more time with it, and especially now it's live in patch. I was just feels. General feels.
I like the patch so far. This is the best patch, at least first impression, best patch in a long time.
Miwa! Later, dude! Bye.
Bye, Miwa.
That guy rose from nowhere.
Yeah, right?
Where'd he come from? Yeah.
That's our other observer.
Came out of Zoya.
He's,
Love you too.
he manages some dead team.
Yeah, he's also the manager for Murloc Geniuses.
Formerly Zevron. Buy me one. Kubi is getting on an airplane soon.
I guess PAX now would be the next topic.
Go for it.
Well,
Hype!
Glaurung, why are you excited about PAX? Because
You
you're gonna
didn't
get
qualify.
knocked out first round.
Oh, are we? Hello?
Bracket?
Zoya, just one thing. My team can perform on LAN. So, I don't know.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Wait, is this a dig at Cloud9 or is this a dig at Tempo?
No, it's a dig at Tempo, but
Was it Tempo?
it wasn't a well thought out shots fired. Just let me admit that. I'm trying to talk smack,
First
but
of all, just to say, Mike, I am excited to hang out with you at PAX.
me too, dude. It's gonna be a good time.
But for those that didn't see, Edward Gaming dropped out of PAX. They were the Chinese team that Tempo Storm, my team, was playing in the first round.
Visa issues.
Visa's issues. So Cognitive, because I believe they got second place in the qualifier. What was it? Third place?
We lost in the semifinals to Cloud9 3-1
Yeah.
of MSIMG.
Yeah.
You're
So
right.
they replaced Edward Gaming, and so now Cognitive's going to PAX. You have 3 American teams now, which is awesome.
But they're
On
all
the same side of the bracket.
There's 8 teams, and there's so it's I think round 1 is
Round
actually Cog versus Tempo, and then it's Cloud9.
Round 2 is Cog versus Cloud9.
Oh my god, are you serious?
It's Cloud9 is facing. No, they're facing
E-Star.
E-Star.
E-Star,
so
yeah.
honestly, that's a really tough
We
matchup.
have an
for-
NA team
for
kill,
Cloud9.
NA Nation kill in the first round, and an NA Nation kill in the second round.
Maybe.
E-Star
Well-
now. I will beat them.
Think so.
I think.
Well,
Really?
they've definitely shown some very good results in the past. On the opposite side of the bracket, it's Virtus Pro. Team Liquid, assuming Team Liquid qualifies for
Yeah, this
for E regionals this weekend, they made it to top 8. But if they don't qualify, they said they will not be competing at PAX because there's only one more qualifier
BlizzCon
after this,
is
and
more
they
important than PAX.
way more important.
And then another North American team will be invited to PAX.
Probably.
That would be
No, I believe they already said that if
It'd be
Liquid
Navi.
doesn't go, Navi's
Navi,
going
yeah.
instead.
Damn, dude.
People are asking when PAX is. It's not this coming weekend. It's the weekend after. So it's one weekend.
Mike,
after
what day do you guys fly in? Tuesday?
What day do we fly in? Yeah, Tuesday.
Oh snap! We're gonna hang out. We get in Tuesday too. Sorry to interrupt.
Are we staying at the same hotel?
I haven't.
Yeah, I think we're all in the
We
same
probably are.
Okay, cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm so hyped. It's gonna be okay. So it's not something we've talked about yet in NA, like because we have regionals coming up. But this is the first North American Heroes of the Stormland.
like actual land.
That
We
BlizzCon
did,
doesn't count.
we did WCA finals, and that was Cloud9 versus Tempo
Yeah.
Storm in a studio
But no
environment, playing
fans,
live,
No live audience.
no
So, like,
audience. This is
No
it's-
fans. Must have been really hot in there.
It's not
Fan
only,
wasn't on Cloud9 yet, right? I mean, it was still biceps.
so it's not only the first land, but it's the first international event for Heroes. Period. So we're gonna have China, Korea, we're gonna have America,
Yeah.
Europe, the whole deal.
Yeah, it's awesome. Regionals will be more fun just because A, Vegas, and B, it's like Vegas is like it's only a Heroes event, right? It's not piggybacked off of something else. It's not piggybacked off a Hearthstone event. It's not piggybacked off of a WoW event. It's a Heroes event specifically in that thing by itself. So that's gonna have more Heroes fans there. It's gonna be like PAX. There's gonna be random. But the cool thing about PAX is like you're gonna have random people walking by the area and be like, oh, what is this? This is cool. And it like introduces new people. The Heroes fans also gives or the Heroes, and it also gives Heroes fans the first land in North America. EU's already had like 3 or 4 dream hacks, so like they've already had that. They've had other lands as well, and IEM I think.
They had Gamescom, they've
Gamescom,
had
yeah.
DreamHack, they've had a lot of things. And Gamescom is kind of like the PAX equivalent in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah,
massive
absolutely.
video game convention where fans of all types of games can be there. So if there are Blizzard fans walking around that happen to see Heroes of the Storm, they decide to sit down and just check out this, because there's going to be a whole big stage where anyone attending PAX can just pop in and just check it out. And it's actually probably like the largest single thing on the PAX floor. So that's pretty hype.
Yeah, I believe what I was told was, for those of you that either watched League of Legends last year at PAX or were there live, the big ass stage that they did League on is where we're doing Heroes at.
Pretty much.
And that is hype. Like I saw pictures of the stage.
There's
It's
no League at
massive.
PAX. Heroes is pretty much
League's
taken-
not there this year.
Pretty much,
Heroes and SC2 replace it.
So it's going to be really cool. It'll be on the MSI channel. It is all sponsored by MSI. It's the MSI Masters Gaming Arena. $50,000 up for grabs. That's going to be the largest prize pool until regionals. So that'll be the biggest prize pool to date. Regionals for NA is 100,000. I believe EU is more than that.
I think EU was 75K.
Like if you look at Heroes 2015, there are going to be 3 events that you'll remember. The 3 World Championships essentially. It's going to be MSI MGA, BlizzCon, and then WCA Global Finalists in China. Like,
that's true for year 1.
I'm really excited to participate.
And that's like September, and then BlizzCon's November.
And then WCA is November as well.
Is it?
Yes, end of November, I believe. I don't know if that's public.
Last year it was December for WCA finals, and that's
it's somewhere around there. That's all I know.
Yeah. So very cool. Predictions for PAX now.
It makes me sad that it's not double elimination. First of all, it's
single elimination. I
it
saw
will be
that.
sad for you, Zoe.
Oh snap!
We'll see. Predictions: the other side of the bracket that the NA teams aren't on, because NA is not on that side, it's a free win for MVP Black. They're just going to go straight to the finals.
So
I actually have to agree with Zoya there. Like honestly, it's kind of weird.
I think MVP Black is going to outclass
UUM.
I think Liquid will lose to them, like convincingly. I think it's round 1 VP versus MVP Black.
Yep.
I think Virtus.pro will get crushed.
Yep.
I think Liquid will put up a good fight, but I'm pretty sure MVP Black will take them out.
MVP Black is one of the few international teams that I have a lot of respect for.
They're really good.
I would be lying if I didn't tell you I was a friend of them.
MVP Sky.
They're scary.
Is that the other one?
I don't remember.
I think it's
I think
MVP
so,
Sky. They're booty. They're actually horrendous.
No, MVP Black is the only every region's got a few good teams. MVP Black is the only team from Korea that I'm whoa.
Yeah,
There's no team that ever even gets close to doing well against them at all. Speaking of which, OGN Global is hype as hell.
Dude, OGN is insanely fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie. The casters are so hype, and it's just really cool.
Yeah.
The NA casters are pretty good, but
damn.
I'm just kidding.
No, if anyone ever tries to compare us to Tosis, that's insane.
Well, it's mostly Wolf
they're the best.
and Moonglade doing Heroes over there, isn't it?
It's both. They're backing off. Yeah, they both do a day a week.
Across the globe, though, the commentary for Heroes has improved so much over the past 6 months. It's actually really cool in both North America and Europe and everything.
Yeah, I mean, we're all very young, but to have legends like Tastosis, Wolf, Moonglade all involved in Heroes is such a treat for the community because it's a big thing for growing the scene. Having guys like that, as good as they are, as passionate as they are about esports, with such a rich history in this culture, is just phenomenal. So,
what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Stop that. All right, so you were saying predictions?
Yeah.
Like I said, MVP Black is going to sweep that side easily.
So you're saying MVP Black to the finals.
Yeah.
Bottom half is Europe, MVP Black. What's the fourth?
I think
there's 2 U teams. There's MVP Black.
It'll be a Liquid.
And then is it?
I can't be
No. But what's the fourth team? Is it?
It's
is it Relics?
No.
Versus My Revenge Versus.
Yeah.
So it should be. I think MVP Black will go up. Liquid will beat My Revenge Versus the semifinals. I think that MVP Black will go up over Liquid.
As of right now, if you look at the top side of the bracket, I'd say the biggest underdog is obviously my team, and then after that, I honestly would expect Cloud9 to beat MVP Black as long as they play their game. Cloud9's a very unique team.
You mean
E-Star?
You mean E-Star?
No, I'm talking about Cloud9 versus E-Star.
Yeah, you just said MVP Black.
Oh, yeah, that's what I meant. I'm sorry.
I was
meant E-Star. But
I like Cloud9. I don't know if I like Cloud9 that much.
The thing about Cloud9 is ever since they were on Team Liquid and competed at BlizzCon, all the players love them all to death, but they have never been able to perform on LAN. Team Liquid back in BlizzCon was the favorite to win the exhibition match by far. Then they end up losing, and then WCA America.
I called it.
WCA America, that LAN Yeah, it was insane. And then at WCA America, Tempo Storm was like not good.
That was
And
the
then-
beginning
No,
of
we
the
were
end.
not. Like, he's
Yeah,
not good
right
shots fired.
then.
We were weak. Zuno, we had only practiced with them
crumbled.
for a week and a half. Like, we were not like a well-rounded team at WCA.
So-
Cloud9 was the heavy favorite in my opinion, and I'm
Yeah.
not being salty because I got
No.
kicked like 2 weeks before. Like I'm just looking at the actual strength
Like-
of the team,
Well, results-wise, too, Cloud9 was...
Yeah. just way leaps and bounds ahead. And then like they've always struggled to perform on LAN. But the point I was trying to get across is I think that Cloud9 online is like one of the best teams in the world, and if they can perform well at PAX, then they will be able to beat Star. And then it's
So-
going to be a hard match round 2 for either us or Tempo, like whoever
The,
makes it out of that.
The interesting thing is Cloud9, aren't they boot camping right now?
Yeah, they're boot camping with us.
So that's the best experience for LAN, playing in a
Yes.
live environment. So they're at least realizing they have a weakness and they have to correct it. And I'm very happy to hear that, because to hear that they're actually trying that hard, boot camping with you guys, being in a live environment where
Huge
they're
shout outs
actually-
to NVIDIA too, by the way, for
Yeah.
like letting us do this. It's cool.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and explain what you're doing real quick? 'Cause we
Yeah.
can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
the
So
event coming up.
what we're doing with Cloud9, we online just were talking and we were like, hey, we have a pretty good idea with all these events coming up. We weren't planning on boot camping before PAX. We were planning on boot camping before round of 8 and regionals, but it just so happened that we got invited to PAX as well, so it's even better. But what we wanted to do is we wanted to do a show match to promote the place where Cognitive plays, which is AFK Gamer Lounge, and then we're going to be doing that tomorrow. And then the day after that, we're going to be spending all weekend boot camping and leading up until we fly out to PAX, just boot camping at the NVIDIA esports offices for PAX. It's going to be a really good experience, and because arguably the first or second best team, Cloud9, is going to be scrimming the arguably third best team in NA right now. Zoya, your team better be scared, man.
That's exciting. No, that's really exciting, because that can only level up your play. Like
Yeah.
like back when Corey and I played Smash Brothers competitively, that's what everyone would do. The same idea as boot camping. We call it Smash Fest, and people would get together for 3 or 4 days, and they would just grind. And they'd go to the tournament, and then you always perform better every single time. The results are insane. It's a big thing in the FPS culture. You know, Halo teams would always get together, and
They do
Tons
that
of
for
time.
StarCraft.
Do it
StarCraft,
for-
they always did it with Red Bull. Red Bull boot camps right before
Yeah.
the big tournaments.
The type of
helps,
practice, the
Right.
type of practice that you get at a boot camp is really unique in the sense that after a scrim block, you get to sit down with that team and discuss with them what you thought they did wrong in the draft or what you thought they did wrong in game, and you get to receive that feedback as well. That sort of feedback is super, super rare, and that sort of feedback, I think, is what
All right.
we need to improve. I think it's going to be great.
People,
Well, just to finish the boot camping or the show match topic is, it's going to be, I believe, tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Pacific
Yes, 8 p.m.
On-
Pacific.
on the
and you-
NVIDIA
if you're-
channel.
we'll be watching it.
Yeah, NVIDIA channel, and if you guys live in the Bay Area and want to come watch it live, meet all of
Damn.
Cognitive and Cloud9, you can come to AFK Gamer Lounge. It'll be
Jake
a lot of
was like,
fun.
Let's go up there and watch it live.
I didn't know it was in the Bay
It's like a
Area. I thought it was
6-hour
in the-
drive.
That's
Yeah.
what he's like. Is it like an hour away? Like, Jake, that's a 6-hour drive. We're not doing that.
I didn't realize it was that far. I thought it was so.
Jake is so bad because remember
I
when
thought
he
it
was
was
also
SoCal.
remember when he was also thinking that you could also take a train from London to Germany. Just like it was so easy. Oh yeah, just take a train from London to Germany.
Just
You can do
a
that.
hip and a
Oh,
hop.
you can. It's 12 hours long.
Shh. Anyways, and that'll be cast tomorrow night by Kevin Naki and Anna Prosser, I believe.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be actually at the venue live, so that's really
That'd be
cool.
awesome.
Wow.
Looking
Kevin
forward to
Naki.
that. So
This is like just like this is something that when Heroes gets more serious will become a norm. Like these LAN boot camps before a tournament. Like in StarCraft, EG used to fly on their players like a week and a half before the event, just so they would get over the jet lag. They could start practicing with their team and like prepare for this event. Isn't it like something that's going to be very rare in the future? But it's cool that it's already happened once. That Cog and
Oh, it's
C9
super
already
hype.
done it, are already doing it.
and,
Like
It's a
like,
lot of
I-
fun, too. Like, I'm super
Oh, I
stoked.
could imagine. Like, I'm jelly. Like, I wish I was there hanging out with you guys right now. When Mike was like, be afraid, Zoya, like, that wasn't just, like, random shots fired. Like, that is insane amount of good practice. Like,
That's a
it's
legitimate
almost
thing.
like you power yourself imagine you have the ability to like turn yourself on for a Super Saiyan for like 5 minutes.
NVIDIA's our hyperbolic time chamber, man.
Basically, yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like insane boost of power. It's so good.
Glaurung's gonna use Kaioken times 10. He's gonna show up, and his hair is gonna be all like beautiful.
Zoil will make me feel bad again and make me put on a beanie.
Just make sure there's a muffin button. If
think
anybody's
you're
watched
looking at
DBZ Abridged. But yeah, that's awesome, man. Muffin button.
I love that part. All right, so that's pretty much what's happening tomorrow. And then, of course, you have the round of 8 coming up this weekend for both NA and EU. So there's going to be pretty much official Blizzard broadcasts happening all weekend long, like almost 24/7. You're going to be able to watch competitive heroes to find out the 3 teams that qualify for Europe, and then the last 2 teams that qualify for the NA Championship. That's exciting.
Yeah.
And when it comes down to it, we already know for NA, we have Templestorm,
Yeah.
Cloud9, and Cognitive. That leaves 2 spots remaining. Well, those 3 teams are in the top 8. So you've got a pretty good shot. 5 teams competing for 2 spots. Complexity, one of the more likely ones, but honestly, I think anyone can do it at this point.
Yeah,
I
like 2-arc. Oh.
Kevin.
Damn, that was rude.
Kevin!
That was.
If I were a betting man, I would say
mean.
that Complexity has a pretty good chance to make it through, but they are nowhere like set in stone. And
No,
because of
not.
the way the bracket works out, it's actually really hard for the other team that I would consider to be a pretty good favorite would be Murloc Geniuses. And like because of the way their bracket pans out, like it's gonna be a battle for them to get those 2 spots. And like honestly, looking at the bracket, I'd say Complexity has a pretty good chance, and I forget what the other team, but Complexity is definitely a favorite to get into the top 2. After that, it's a wash. I couldn't tell you who I would think. Like it's really close.
It'll be interesting because I believe you guys are on the same side as Maelstrom, right? Or you're on the same side as us? I don't remember.
We're on the same side as you guys. We'll play
Yeah, so, like-
Murloc Geniuses, and supposing things go in both our favors, we'll be playing you guys in the semis.
Yeah, so let's just go with that assumption because that's probably going to happen. We play each other in the semis. That means one of the top 3 teams, either us or you, are going to go down the losers bracket, and then going to
And
be eliminating
we
teams.
crush dreams at that point.
Right, that's
Yeah.
literally, Glaurung is going to be feeding off that. Like, you're out of the tournament, you don't get to go to regionals, see ya, not in Vegas, baby. That's actually Glaurung's life at that
Just-
moment, and he doesn't care about the money,
Yeah.
he just cares about the tiers, the nerd tiers.
Yeah,
What?
like the money. There's actually a lot of money in this tournament, and that's
Yeah,
really
this
cool.
one's got a lot of
but until I don't know, like the money has never really has been what drives me to play competitively. Like Kings of the Storm for 6 months straight, $0 prize pool. Like you just compete in that stuff to compete, and I still have that same mentality.
It's all
So
about passion, man. It's about the competition, it's about the passion for the game. Why? Why is this happening?
hello?
Your
Hello?
employees, there's Torch. Hi, Torch.
He's not looking at you.
I'm going to keep waving to him.
He's not you're waving at the webcam.
Oh, I'm so sad.
He just looked at you and was like, what the hell?
So sad right now. Esports, Esprouts, Road to BlizzCon. You can check all the action out on twitch.tv/BlizzHeroes. I don't know if EU is on the same channel.
Something interesting though
I
that
think
I
ESL's on
made
ESL Heroes.
as an observation was like for the Heroes of the Storm qualifiers for regionals, which are essentially the qualifiers for BlizzCon because you have to do well to get to BlizzCon. Like in the World of Warcraft qualifiers, the team that wins one, basically NA Open, cannot compete in the other ones. So it like made me wonder why in Heroes of the Storm specifically, us Cloud9 and Tempo are allowed to compete.
I would suspect that it's largely due to the game being young. WoW has been around for forever, and Heroes
Yeah.
that want to give the opportunity to teams to enter the game and become a new team and then register. The reason a team can continue competing is the prize pool is inconsistent. How unfair is it to be able to win more money for a different event? And the WoW qualifiers are also much smaller. I think they're all invites based on ladder. So that's the other big thing. There's no standing ladder that exists for Heroes. I'm pretty sure WoW has an 8-game ladder where the teams get invited to compete.
It was just a thought-provoking thing, you know. I was like curious because it's like the same company, but they're doing something completely different for the two qualifiers. And you make up a lot of you make a lot of good points as to why that is, but just was interesting to think about.
I mean, it also comes down to they just like it's what I was saying before. Like, it just makes sense too. Like, if you can't beat those teams constantly, you know, and you can't.
Do you really deserve to go to regionals?
Do you really deserve to go to regionals? That's the thing, right? Like, if you can't win against Tempo, well, guess what? Tempo's going to be at the regionals. If you can't win against Cognitive, guess what? They're going to be at regionals.
I agree. I mean,
it's not like they're not being incredibly like.
As a player, though, it can be very like, disheartening, I guess, because you always want to look to improve. Like last week's episode, I believe you guys had a little bit of a discussion about like teams. I know Kubi specifically brought up the point like teams still have room to improve, and I don't think any teams really hit their skill cap.
Not even close. Not even close.
Like, yeah, exactly. But like, you see right now, a lot of teams are disbanding, and that really like makes me sad. But I believe the argument you guys had made last week was something along the lines of like, I actually don't remember because it's been a week.
What we were talking about was there's nothing to play for after this.
What else is on the horizon, right?
If you don't qualify for regionals, like what is between regional? Like what's between? Like right now, we have 3 months till BlizzCon. That's everyone's minds right now is regionals and BlizzCon. Like so, if you're not in the play for that, what are you doing?
Well,
yeah, like I said this year too. There's 3 main events, and it's MSI, BlizzCon, and WCA, and like the qualifiers for those will be done by the end of November. So it's like, what is there to play for as an amateur team?
That's what's really rough in the NA scene. At least in EU, right? They've got the Enter the Storm Cups that go on all the time. They've got Dream Hacks that pop up all the time. They've got all these different options. In the NA scene, there's nothing. If you're not in WCA, if you're not in MGA, if you're not in BlizzCon, there's what? ESL Majors?
And that's like an afterthought for the majority of the teams right now.
Honestly, it's a $10,000 prize pool for a league versus weekends where you're going to get $35,000, and there's so much more of an emphasis on those things. Sure, the ESL season 3 finals are going to be exciting. It's going to be an 8-man bracket. It happens in September, but it's still not that. It's not like you're competing to be in GSL Codest, right? It's not to that caliber yet, and sure, maybe it'll evolve to be that, but it's not there yet, and it's tough.
Really hope like the NA scene just doesn't die after BlizzCon. Well, not die, but like take a huge dip.
I just think we're going to see a lot of teams shuffle. I think we're going to see a lot of teams be reborn in different forms under different brands. If you have a sponsor, it's a lot easier to stay together. But if you're, I mean, what is Turark's salary, right? How many sponsors does Turark have? Probably not a lot.
Westbar Gunners.
But they probably don't get much. Right, I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And if you're being given a scenario like Cognitive, where you have like an area where you live with your team, even if you don't make it, to BlizzCon or whatever happens, you still have something going for you that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Tempo Storm, same boat. Cloud9, Cloud9's a big sponsor. So if organizations come into the community like TSM and stuff like that, and we get more of that, I think we'll see more stability across the board.
Yeah, and it's just. I don't even think it has to come down to the teams. I think the scene just needs more events, more things that are just stable. That's all I mean, is that like the teams won't form if there's no events to be in, but events want to form up if there's no events or if there's no teams. Right? It's like that weird double-edged sword.
Why are you going to sponsor a team if there's nothing they're going to play in? What's the return on investment? How much exposure you're going to get? I mean, these are all variables that the sponsors are going to look at.
I mean, events are what makes a team marketable, and if a team's not marketable, why would you invest?
Yep. So the game is getting there, and it's growing well. I think this current patch that we have coming up is going to make the game far more enjoyable for both just players and spectators. But there's still a lot of growing to do. There's still a lot of things like just the hero pool alone is going to make the game more dynamic as it expands. We're going to see more viable compositions. You can only ban out so much. I mean, we talk about banning out melee assassins and just removing options, but what if there's five Kerrigan butchers, like 5 heroes that function like that?
Now that's going to be a good game.
Suddenly Glaurung you can't stop him from getting a melee hero. He's going to have all the options he needs.
That's the beauty of having Kael'thas the way he is right now. It allows me to sometimes get Zeratul, whereas I would never get Zeratul. Stuff like that. It's like,
Dude, you should go to EU.
good fun.
In EU, nobody picks Zeratul and they ban him second tier. It doesn't make any sense.
That's why EU's going to lose on their side. Right?
That's actually what we were saying before, right, Zoya, when we were casting EU this past weekend. It's like they don't respect the Zeratul, and anytime he popped up, Void Prison's wrecking them. But yeah, it's where you should go, Glamour. EU. It's the land of the Zeratul.
Yeah. I don't have anything else to say on the topic. What else did we have to talk about? Jake?
What did you guys get for dinner today? Or
We didn't go yet. We're going.
Yeah, we're going to dinner after this.
We had
The rest of the nerds are at the hotel already.
Blizzard took us out to Korean barbecue for lunch. Shout out to
man.
Blizzard. That was God tier.
that sounds good.
They catered breakfast this morning. We did all
That
kinds of
esports life,
caster nerd
man.
lessons today. Like we got to do all kinds of fun stuff.
I played
Played like some weird games, like where it's like about picking up each
vocal
other's senses and stuff.
exercises and like how fast you can react on your feet and stuff.
Yeah, it was fun though. Got to see the studio, the in-house Blizzard studio where they film stuff.
Through the WoW show has been done here at Blizzard.
Mike Moore
Jake,
walked by us
Jake.
and Jared didn't see him.
Okay,
Jake.
No.
Jake, hold on. Wait. Shh, Jake. Jake, blink twice if Warcraft 4 was shown to you.
I mean, I'm gonna blink twice eventually.
Wait
No,
for it.
we were I think doing the tour or something. Mike Morheim walks by, right? Jake doesn't say anything. Doesn't tap on my shoulder. Doesn't point him out to me. And then like when he's like far away, he's like, "Oh, Zoe, that was Mike Morheim."
Yeah, that's pretty cool. So Blizzard has a bit of a museum kind of thing,
Yeah.
where they have all kinds of trophies, rewards they've won, and all these things. And I've been to Blizzard twice before this trip, and it's been like they've got all this WoW stuff. So it's like the original WoW, and then there's like an era with Burning Crusade, and then Lich King. They've got all the cool stuff. It's 100% heroes now. It is full heroes, tons of heroes, fan art, concept art. Like there's this is all public stuff too. Like anyone can see this.
There's all
Some of
Jake?
like the concept art from like Uther skins and stuff.
Oh yeah, there's that. What was it? The Uther.
Uthor.
There was an Uthor one. What was the
Pirate
one?
Uther?
The Pirate Uther. Oh, that was so cool to see.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Jake, I don't think you've understood this quite yet. See, it's not just hero stuff. It's all the other games
But it's
go
specifically
into heroes. So that's
I'm well
it's
aware of
actually
that.
Diablo, StarCraft, and everything else.
But the design and the style
Yeah,
of
I'm
everything
just
is all
joking.
very
Yeah,
heroes
heroes
fan
were
art.
playing.
I'm just
it's
making
really
bad
cool.
jokes.
Yeah, I know. I'm used to it. But it's really cool. It's really fun.
Yeah, it was a treat to be at.
There was a Lord Goblin with Murky sitting on his shoulder. That was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, I think a lot of this artwork you can see online because
I want that.
Yeah, it was really cool stuff. But what else? We saw the motorcycles.
Yeah, we saw the motorcycles from the chopper thing.
Yeah, the Azeroth choppers.
The Azeroth chopper,
like the
we saw
actual
the-
physical motorcycles.
Yeah, apparently they run well, and they actually run and stuff too. Like still, like you could ride it out there if you had the key and it had gas in it. Yeah, I mean it's been really cool to be here.
We're gonna be
Wow,
heading up
really?
to ESL soon. Tomorrow, actually, I have to drive a really fat
He has a mini.
SUV thing. No, it's an SUV.
It's a minivan, isn't it?
That's a-
The red minivan that was like in forecourts.
Yeah, it's a minivan.
That's
I
a
don't know.
minivan,
That's a
man.
I hate.
How do you not know what a minivan is?
It's a minivan.
Because it's
All right,
it's a
so
fat thing. I have to drive that thing around LA and LA traffic with like 7 nerds in
all
the
right,
car.
all right. Let's. Is there any other heroes things that we need to discuss?
No, that's why Jake and I are being dumb.
Yeah,
Okay.
we're getting ready to kill the show.
Yeah, I think
We're
so. This is actually probably like our shortest episode in a long
Well, it's
Yeah,
because
time.
we're like out of
Yeah.
our element. There's. I mean, I haven't played Heroes in a week. I've been
Wait,
traveling.
Kubi's in the chat. Kubi's
So-
questions?
Kubi's questions now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we've
let's
retired
honestly
that shit
let's just
second.
go to the shoutouts because we're actually
Yeah.
invading space right now, anyways. So, and I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I'm Kevin.
Kevin.
Great,
Kevin.
Glaron.
So I'd like to obviously give a big shout out to NVIDIA, who's allowing us to boot camp this week. And I'd also like to shout out tomorrow at 8 p.m., we're going to be doing a best-of-3 show match versus Cloud9. It's not going to be ARAM. It's not going to be reverse draft. So you guys...
We should have
you
talked
guys...
about that.
Oh God.
you
Can
guys
we talk
should
about
be
that
able
quickly?
to at least enjoy those games. But, and then after that, you can expect good things from Cognitive at the round of 8, PAX, regionals, you name it. Hopefully we'll show up. And on top of that, I'd like to thank Cognitive and AFK for letting me survive, providing me roof, food, all that good sort of stuff. And it's it for me. You can follow me on Twitter at cog_Glaurung if you want to get an inside look at some of the Twitter drama in Heroes of the Storm. But that's mostly me and Zoya's job right now. Yeah, that's it for me, guys. Thanks for, and big shout out to you guys for putting me on the show 4th time. It's pretty cool.
Before we do more shoutouts, someone in chat just asked us to plug this, and I'll go ahead and do it. Team Liquid is doing a bracket challenge where you create a bracket for MSI.
Yeah.
And I think MSI is actually providing a computer that you can win. So if you predict the bracket correctly, you could win yourself a brand new computer courtesy of Liquid and MSI.
Yeah, they used to do that stuff with StarCraft all the time too, which is
It's
really
hype.
cool.
That's awesome.
They're doing it with Heroes.
Just go to
They used
teamliquid.net.
Yeah. They used to do those all the time in StarCraft.
Sham Bam.
So you can catch me casting the round of 8 this weekend on mlg.tv/sham2 for EU stuff. It's going to be all super types of early in the morning. I'm going to be solo casting for 8 hours a day. It's going to be grand. Other than that, I think that's all I've got. YouTube.com/sham2 for all my cool little tutorial videos and all that. That's about it.
I actually have a kind of funny story really quick for you guys.
Go for it.
Yesterday in scrims, we had the pause versus Cloud9, and they had just gotten to the NVIDIA offices, and when someone pauses, you ask a question like, what's up, what's going on, right? So I type in chat, hey, you guys good? And then iDream types in chat, just spilled water on $3,000 device or something. It was just the funniest thing. So then we had to remain paused for 5 minutes or so, but shoutouts to NVIDIA for letting a bunch of nerds spill water on your computers and stuff like that.
I don't think that's what they wanted
That's
to
not
let you
what
do.
they want to happen.
Just call it water cooling and end the day.
Yeah, they were letting us test out some new water cooling systems.
There we go. See?
Okay. Well, I am Tempo Zoya. I'm the manager and caster for Tempo Storm Heroes. I'm also be branching out into more cool stuff for Tempo Storm, managing other games and fun stuff like that. That will be coming soon, so keep your eye out for that. We are back on the content grind. We just posted 2 videos over at youtube.com/Tempo Storm Heroes. Where we released Arthalon, released Kel'Thas video, KO released Viking videos, Zuna, and our Soldier both released videos this week. Dreadnought just released a monk guide if you're interested in seeing how the full support monk is played out and tips and trips of that. Go to templestorm.com and go to the Heroes Guide. You can see that as well. A big shout out to Mike Glaurung for coming on the show. It was last minute. He canceled plans to come on. It was literally an hour or two before we went live.
That girl didn't want to hang out with you anyways, Clara.
But thanks for coming on, Mike. And Kevin,
Thanks for having me, you guys.
Kevin was very sitting around we didn't know until the 2 hours beforehand if we're doing this or not.
Everybody was telling me we're not doing town hall, so it was 2 hours before. I was like, all right, might as well send out a tweet, not doing town hall. Then you guys were like, we're doing town hall, and I was like,
The production
never
was,
mind, we're doing town hall.
really good, Kevin, by the way. There's
Yeah.
only that one hiccup at the start. I'm proud of you, man.
Thank
the
you.
one transition he had to do, he messed up.
E-Sprouts.
He sprouts.
Shout out to Blizzard for
E-Sprouts.
giving us a location to do
Yes.
the show today and for flying us out here for all this cool stuff we've been doing the last couple of days. Unfortunately, my flight here was
Brett.
far from good. I had basically 26 hours of travel with cancellations after cancellations. But I'm here now. Make sure you guys tune into the tournament this weekend, the top 8 for North America. There'll be some familiar faces, maybe some new faces at the broadcast. Gonna be a lot of fun. And bam, bam, bam. The week after that, I will actually be at PAX. So my normal stream is largely on hold. I'll be back Monday, Tuesday next week. Be sure to follow the channel here. Follow me on YouTube at SolidGG, and of course on Twitter at SolidGG. That's gonna wrap up episode number 76 of Town Hall Heroes. I love all of you. We'll see you next time. Sing, Jared.
Later, guys, this is Town Hall from Blizzard HQ. This is going to be a goodbye from all of us. Wait from you. Thank you for letting us do this thing. I miss you, Chick Slur.